In this lesson, we're going to be looking at different format options within the page. So we've already explored how we can update the text. We have also looked at the different paragraph styles and how we can align and indent, as well as line spacing. There's also bullets and numbering. So there's different ways to list out the numbered lists as well as the bulleted lists. And it's got an example of how that's going to look. So you can create the different lists type with the different bullet points, and then you can also add additional lists to those as well. So I'm in the suggested mode, so it's showing up as suggested, and you can always switch them. So if you select that list, you can switch them and you can see what they look like on the different lists. So in order to do the columns, it's going to be grayed out. You need to select content, and as well, you can't be in suggesting mode. So you have to be in editing mode, and then you can go to format and you're going to see the options for columns. So make sure that you have some content selected that you want to use for the columns. And then let's go and select the columns. So we've got the default where we've got the 1 column, 2 column, 3 column. There's also more options for the number of columns. So again, this is just a drop down list for the same thing, and you can update the spacing and you can have lines between the columns. So let's have a 1-inch spacing between the columns. We'll set up 2 columns. So it automatically splits the content nice and evenly between the columns. So if you were to not select any content and if you go columns, then it's just going to automatically column the whole content there. So that's probably not what you want. So you want to make sure that you've got the content selected before you apply the columns, so that it only is getting applied to that selected content. And also under formatting, so once you've set the columns, you can always adjust it and make sure that you've selected that content again. And if you ever want to clear the formatting, you can always go down and clear any of the formatting that has already been selected. So I'm just going to go do a quick clear formatting of all of the formatting on the page. And then we did have these suggested edits as well that we added in. Also under format, there's headers and footers. So you've got an option to apply to the whole document, this section, and this section forward. And if you do this section, that also gives you an option to do different for the first page. So in some cases, you might want to have a different type of header for the first page as you do for the following pages. So that's the one that we're going to select. So different for the first page. And let's add in the header size of 1 inch and apply it to the section. So once that's been applied, then you can click at the top, and this gives you an option for the text or the header area. And then you can always drop down the options. You've got an option here for page number as well. You can do a header format. So that's just going to allow you another option, an opportunity to update what that's going to look like. And also for the different sections, you can apply the different headers. So this is the test header. And if we don't have anything in this one, and all other pages. So that gets applied automatically to the top of all the other pages. And there was an easy way to add in the page numbers here. So under options, we can do page numbers. So again, we've got an option to apply to this section, whole document, this section forward. This is where we want to apply the page numbers. So let's do it the whole document. We'll have page numbers, and starting at page 1, show on first page. And that's an option that we can show, we can remove. And we also have an option to where we want to position the page numbers. So we can keep it in the footer. So that's what I'll do. I'll just keep it in the footer. And just as we saw for the header, we have options for the footer. We can update the footer content, and the page numbers are automatically going to be there. And for the footer, you can also have under options, footer format, page numbers, and you can remove the footer. And then you've also got the different footers for the first page. So I'm going to just remove out that option, so all of them are going to be the same. So now we see that once I update the footer on one page, I get the same footer on the other pages, because it's the footer that's not going to be the same, but the header is going to be the same on all of them as well as the footer. So you've got the choice to make the first page different for header and footer, or you can go across all of them and having them the same. And there's also an option for the page numbers under format, page numbers. So to give you that same pop-up screen where, again, you can set where you want header or footer, starting number, and also continuing from the previous section. So if you have different sections of content, you can add the page numbers, and you can continue page numbering, or you can start from fresh as well for the page numbering.